Broken things can become a blessing if you let God do the mending. Welcome to Broken to be Blessed Network, where dynamic women will share their experiences that will inspire, and experiences that have turned out to be a blessing. Now here's your host, Samantha McNeil.
We are now going to go into the transition phase. What was the transition like for you? Yes, you were ready. Yes, you got married young at different ages. What was the transition like for you from being single into to married? And I'm gonna go with Antonia.
Um, okay, I think it wasn't like extremely challenging, but then at the same time it took a bit of getting used to. I was no longer basically accountable for myself. I mean, I was at the age where I didn't necessarily need to be reporting to my parents on everything that I did. So, a level of independence, I do what I want to do, I go where I want to go, but then here comes there's this somebody else now, my partner, that I really need to be accountable to. So getting used to, okay, I can't just stay at work late or whatever. I need to, okay, talk to Mr. Man and let him know and all that kind of stuff. And then another thing was, we do things differently. We're coming from two different backgrounds. There's certain things that we are going to do differently. So coming to an agreement on, okay, how we should go about doing this, how we should go about doing that. It was just all of that, a little working out phase, I guess you could say.
Okay. Hope is still a newlywed. Tell us, how is the phase for you, Hope?
Okay, so the transition from being single into being married. No, we had an experience because we got married on the onset of the COVID pandemic, and there was a lot going on. At one point, I was wondering, when we decided that, okay, we're going to let it go on because we were planning this big thing that the virus didn't allow us to go through with it, very big, but we decided that, okay, we're going to go on with it. And there were so many things going on. We had like, it was just like, I don't know what to say. It was like a fight going on, and there were several things. I mean, at once in preparation for the wedding, and it seemed as if it wasn't going to happen. But however, we prayed and we persevered and we crossed over. Then when we crossed over, no, it at first it was like I don't know if there's any such thing as marriage shock, but I had a little shock because now I realized that I was accountable to someone, and I had to be careful of what I do know. I wasn't single anymore, and the decisions that I had to make when I was single, I could just make them without consulting anybody. And now I realized that I had to consult with my new husband, and it wasn't that easy to do, because sometimes I think I forget that I was married. I was making decisions on my own, and then I had to come to grips and remind myself, okay, yes, I am married. I need to consult him, and yes, when it comes on to matters concerning finances, my husband is the conservative type. He's a saver, right? And I think I am the spendthrift. So where that is concerned, he would always give me some financial advice and say, I understand that when you were single, you were used to spending your own money and shopping and all of that. Now we are together. We have to budget. We have to put things into perspective. We have to reduce the bad spending habits, and we have to work together. So it is still a work in progress. I am still trying to get used to it and all of that, but yes, it's getting much better. So yes, that's my transition phase.
Awesome, awesome. And I like how you just level it out and be real. That's what I like. I don't like go around come. I like to be real. And when you're finished, I'll share with you my transition phase then. Okay. Shanique, I saw Shanique laughing away. So let us hear. Shanique, how was your transition phase?
I was laughing because most of what you ladies said, I can attest to it. The money thing for me was I'm a big woman and I'm working my money. And now this man is telling me, oh, you can't draw money today. What? No, I'm my money. But as separate and apart from that, I was very rebellious. Like, me don't want you to tell me what to do. So that was me. In addition to that, now, majority of my transition issues were internal. So externally, we were very, private about our stuff. We're big people, are trying to be mature. They told us on the wedding night that you should run to mommy and daddy and run to auntie and uncle and granny and everybody. So we were trying to keep it together. But internally, I think I was depressed. I was bothered about everything. Like this man was now in my personal space all the time. And I'm very big about people being in my space. I like being alone. I know I have to get used to touching. I have to get used to people that beside me. And so externally, he was pampering me, treat me like a queen, him watch, cook, and clean and everything. But inside, me just feel like I could not deal with not making up my own mind. And that kind of depressed me a little bit. I wanted to spend my money. I wanted to do hair like everybody else. I wanted to shop. And he was just taking away the card and saving and all of these things. So I did depressed. I did very troubled. So that was me.
Okay. Martina, what was your transition phase like?
Well, mine was a little difficult, and I think it had to do with me being me. I think a lot, and I make decisions in my mind already before I get to the point. Okay, so for me it was difficult. I had to learn to apologize. Excuse me. I had to learn to apologize when I was wrong, and that for me was a hard thing. I had to learn to express myself because I'm the kind of person I figure it out on my own. And one day my husband had to say to me, Tina, we're married. We are married. I'm your husband. If you need help, you ask me. Say something. Don't sit there and try to figure it out on your own. So for me, honestly, I had a bit of a challenge in that transition phase. And it was mostly because of my personality. So that, yeah, for me was tedious.
Okay, okay. All right, Theonna, tell us about your transition phase.
So I told a friend once that if they hear that I'm going to get divorced because I didn't wash the dishes. So the kitchen is his sanctuary. I was so used to, okay, after I eat, then I would just do one thing and wash up and clean up the kitchen. His thing was, if you eat all tight now, just wash it and done. Don't leave it there. As the other ladies say, he was very thrifty. I had a whole lecture on how to save. I was more of a shopaholic. Like if I go out and I see something and I like it, I am going to buy it. So that was one of my biggest transitions in learning how to spend money for both of us and not just for myself. Um, I was the one with the smelly shoes.
You were the one with me?
Smelly shoes.
Oh, the smelly shoes. Okay.
It was not easy for him to adapt, but eventually he did. And because of like I would just get up in the morning and iron, to go to work. His thing was just iron for the week. I'm done. I'm like, me can't bother with that. There were a lot of things we just couldn't bother with. And as women, we know we love open our feelings. And so if he says something to me women are like, we just go vex. And then he'd be like, you're too skin. And that made me worse of vex.
Tell me about it.
So I had to learn to put away the attitude and know that, look, it's not just you, it's two of you now. And you have to learn to work together to let it work. Yeah, that was it for me.
Oh yes, real stuff. It is true. It is true. For my phase, I guess I was the one with the smelly feet too. But then my husband kind of going like nothing really bother him. So then he maybe going like, at times he said, no man, whose foot smell like that? Go wash your foot, man. And then I like to, boy, I used to love vex. I really had to take a strong step in saying, okay, when I ask what is the challenge with me, everything you vex, I not talk. So whenever I am upset, I am not saying anything. You're saying, Samantha, and I'm sitting right here and I'm just going like this. Nothing. And then he would say that he doesn't know what to do. Then I want him to find something to do to get me to come around. So that was the biggest thing for us. And then I used to be, if I don't, I have to always to be the one to come back to say, let us talk about it now. And then I'm getting even more upset because I'm like, you cause me to be vexed. I'm vexed. Are you still not finding anything to you say I'm giving you time to cool off because I don't know what to do. I say you don't know what to do. You have to find something to do. But you're not talking to me. I say, I don't need to talk to you because you caused me to be upset. So that was one. Another thing, and I don't know if maybe other persons who are going to watch may have that challenge. I think in terms of socialization, I was excited about getting married and the honeymoon, and persons always say, oh, honeymoon, and you have this nice idea of fairy tale and chocolate and roses and all these nice things. But then when the real phase came, it was a challenge because I think it was getting a little bit, I don't even know what's the word to find, but it was different from the expectation. It wasn't happy and fun and all of that at that time. It was kind of getting a little bit frustrating and it was just so not so. But during that phase, what I encountered was that I used to have serious challenge relaxing and now saying to myself, Samantha, you're married. And I used to have to be telling myself that, Samantha, you're married. Even in the act of sex, I have to be saying, you're married. Let go and relax. I used to have a serious struggle with that. So it seemed as though maybe I was always not in the mood or I'm not interested. So that used to be a struggle in my early phase. So I don't know how many young married ladies here or out there have that struggle. And these are the things, and this is why Broken to be Blessed, and this is why this network is here, so that we can share this stuff, we can talk about it, so we can help other persons. Because these things are really not talked about. Most times the older ladies don't really level with the younger ladies. So that was one of my phase for maybe for the baby, about for the entire first year. So, yeah. I see you laughing, Shanique. You want to share something on that?
I think you just read my entire life up to 3 years. It's not just the first, second year, but up to the third year. Like, depression for me was very serious. And when I said I had to get used to somebody being in my personal space, I'm talking about intimacy, bathroom time. Everywhere he's there, and it was annoying. Yes, I had to remind myself that, Shanique, Shan, you're married just the same. You have to do this. Like, I remember the first time we had sex. That's a week after marriage, one whole week after I wait 3 years. And him did have to hold me down. And it was just one of those experiences where never leave me no time. Like, every time I had to remember that, hey, I should have called the police because you hold me down. And I never appreciate that. But we had discussed it before that the way I was about my space, him did have to do it. I wasn't about to give it up without a fight. You have to fight me. And so every time I remember, sex just uncomfortable. I don't want it. I can't bother. So I have to force my mind to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is understandable. When I mentioned my honeymoon night wasn't it night, anything didn't happen, but then in the day it was just, and I think even to this day, there are times when my husband really maybe don't. It kind of feel funny when you talk about it because it kind of maybe look like, but we have been friends for years. We were friends from childhood, so we would have been friends maybe about, we got married, we were friends from 2014 and 2004, and we got married 2011. So all of that time we don't know intimacy. And then I was wild. When they say wild, you can't touch, no kiss, no nothing. And then during 1 year we weren't talking. 2007. You know what happened? One night we went. One night he said to me to give him a kiss. And I was like, you're mad? And I vexed him and I finished 1 whole year. Everything done. And I tell you, the honeymoon, you can unmute your mic and let me hear the laughter, let me sound like me and talk to myself. Unmute the mics when I laugh with me and talk with me.
You're mad? You're mad, me too. You're mad.
So on the honeymoon night, he was anxious, I think, and I was like, it was just so nerve-wracking, and then it wasn't working, and it was just so off, and then after that first experience, it's like I didn't want to every minute, because it every time he said you have to, because it's gonna go back to stage one. I'm like, after it was like, so I tell you, these things are real. These things are real. I met a young lady, and she got married. I went to her wedding, and I happened to see her. I said, how is the? I'm like, oh, bubbly. How was the honeymoon? And she was like, nothing not happened yet. I said, what happened? She said, he's gently, he's nice, he has all the things and stuff, but it's like something is just like I can't get into it. And I had to shake my head. I said, my God, this is real. This is what I went through. And I spoke with her. I told her, I coached her and stuff. And when she went back and stuff, it worked out. I had a close friend again. It was the same thing. After our wedding, I was her maid of honor, and she texted me and said, Sam, boss is nice and everything, but I have to coach her again. And I said, these things are real. Yeah. These things are real, real, real. So these things are real, and this conversation is real. And I'm sure that there are other persons who are out there who are going to be watching this, and it will help them and see that, yeah, it's not just you, but other persons have gone through it. So Shanique, how How is it for you now? You're going into your fourth year?
Yeah, going into the 4th year.
So how is it?
And
How is it? Because they say up to the 3rd year. How
it's
has it
a
been?
real learning experience. Like, I think this is one of the better years for us, honestly. I dubbed year 3 as, year 3 with loving glee, and I think that we have been really loving this year, honestly. Like, actually, get into it now. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. And I guess this moves us to our next question. And it says, is there anything that you wish that you knew before you got married
Oh, yes.
that you didn't know?
Yes, yes.
Antonia, tell us. Because Antonia seemed like she was all ready, so let us hear.
This is honestly one question that I've just been seriously thinking about. What did I wish I knew? I guess like from other people and then even from like premarital counseling and stuff, certain things. But I think for me, maybe, and then I guess this is something that you probably wouldn't know from the get-go. That really and truly you don't realize how hard marriage is or how hard you have to work for your marriage until you actually
Yes.
get in it. So it takes work, it takes commitment from both parts. And like you hear those things and like, oh yeah, that's fine. I can do that. And then you're in it and you're like, you have to take a step back and take a breather. Like, okay, this can work. Okay. So it's just that. I guess how hard you have to work. It's a beautiful thing and it's a lovely thing, but you have to work really hard to really, if you really want to make it work, you have to fight for your marriage. So yeah.
Okay. All right, Martina.
Oh, yes. I wish I knew how much sacrifice it would have taken to keep it going. I remember at one point, one of my good friends told me and say, "Welcome to the club," and I said, "They said I welcome me too." It was, believe me, it was hard. I mean, because some of the times I feel like, you know what, this is it for me. You just don't write as someone. I don't need to try anything else. I don't need to work out. I don't need to explain. Just one. Leave me. Let me just be at peace with my one self. Yeah, the sacrifice. I wish I knew how much it would have taken to shape, to nurture, to get it to where you want. Yeah, I wish I knew that.
Okay, Theonna.
To be honest, I'm here thinking and I'm saying to myself, what is it that I wish I knew before I entered my marriage? And to be honest, nothing is coming to my mind right now. But I share the same sentiments as the other lady who spoke earlier. I got cut off a while ago, so I'm not sure if any other person spoke before Antonia. But as it relates to um, putting in the work, especially with children, oh my God, right now I'm suffering pains in my hands. Like I work with my hands because I'm a teacher of the deaf, and holding the child plus cleaning the house plus making sure that Fuzzy is comfortable, it's pressuring. And I, as I'm talking now, I wish I knew how to manage my time well as it relates to juggling life, being married, versus life, being independent and working.
Hope.
Okay, so what I wish I knew. Well, I think that society I think they have a wrong perception of marriage. I think they more look at the wedding pictures, and they're all into the idea of the big day and all of that, and they spend less time looking at the sacrifices of being married, or what a couple needs to do for each other. And being into this ministry of marriage for 6 months, I realized that sacrifice is important. You know, even when you don't feel like doing something for your partner, it's just like you have to put your feelings aside and to know that you have to do it, because you know you're now accountable not just to him, but standing at that altar, you knew that you made a sacrifice, not just to him, but you made it to God also. And because God is the head of the marriage. And so you have to put your feelings aside and say, okay, you know, I made the sacrifice to this person. You know, I have to put my feelings aside and do it. Whether I feel like doing it, yes or no, I have to do it. Because somebody depends on me, right? And so I have to do it. Even when I know that the seasoning is burning up my fingers and I know that I still have to cook. In spite of that, my fingers are allergic to the seasoning. Yes, I have to do it, because you know it's about making the sacrifice. It's about putting your feelings on hold and to ensure that your partner is well taken care of, because you know, I stood at the altar and I made a commitment before God and before others. So I have to. And I think that if more marriages or more couples were focusing more on making sacrifices for each other in spite of their feelings, I believe that more marriages would be saved from divorce. And I think that, you know, the church and even society, we need to spend more time focusing on, you know, making more sacrifices for our partners instead of focusing on, you know, these fancy weddings and, you know, these glamour pictures. And, you know, if you bought a big house the other day, you have to broadcast it on Facebook, or you went to on vacation and all of that. I think the sacrifice, and I think that is what is being hidden most of the time. You know, persons don't like to sacrifice, but they love the idea of, you know, things being done easily, and then, you know, by the time they know it, they don't have a marriage, because it's all about this easiness, and no one wants to make the sacrifice for each other, no one wants to compromise, right? So yes, that's my take on it.
Okay, Shanique.
I just like to say that I agree totally with all the other ladies. Marriage is tough, and I went in with a little mind. So I had to basically become teachable at that point. Not only teachable, but I had to be willing to learn. Because somebody can teach you, but because your head tough or you're stubborn, you don't get anywhere. So I had to be teachable, and I had to learn.
Okay. All right. One bonus before we get into the encouragement as we close. Wives, when you are upset, do you still do all that you need to do, or the vex get into what you are to do? Be honest. Shanique, tell me, please.
I have to look around because maybe there's a Shanique in the other room and I need to go and get her, because I'm just filling in. So it happens. It happens. When I'm upset, me and a friend, I might cook, but you're not getting nothing else. And I've had to learn that I have to just put my mind, even when your partner is upset. Sometimes for men, I think this is a universal thing. When them upset, them still want it. So you have to submit and just back up the feelings and just say, all right, I get this right. We can talk about that thing that we'll vex about later. But sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. But as I said, I am learning to get it right.
All right, Antonia, let us hear your view.
I guess it's same thing as Shanique. Definitely learning. It's not easy because when you're all up in your feelings, it's hard to come out of it sometimes. It's hard to put what you're feeling on the back burner to do something else. So I have not mastered that. But growing and learning and praying and asking the Lord to work on me. Cause yeah.
Okay. Theonna.
So my pastor would say, in a marriage, up here might vex, but no, you don't vex.
Oh
So whenever I'm upset, and just throw him foot over me, like take your foot off of me, and like, oh, you can't tell me to take my foot off of my wife, it's your face. So give in. It's like you don't have a choice when in fact get sweet.
Martina.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, tell me. I call mommy. Tell us.
All right. So if I'm upset, everything gets done. My shop is never locked. Never.
I want to be like you when I grow up.
And it goes both ways. If he is upset and I need him, sis, I'm going for him. I am. That doesn't mean that we're okay or whatever the issue is has been resolved. He knows this. But I need to be sorted out. I'm going to get myself sorted out. That's me. We deal with that. And I might just still be upset when I'm finished. You never know. But there are moments when it just kind of level off and you can't vex them more. So we just have to talk about it and get it over with. But there are other times when we do our business and I'm just not talking to you. Should you know better or you just need to go start that out the way you deal with it. But it's shut no hand on the door. It never lock.
Hope, why are you so serious? Tell us.
Okay, so oh Lord. So I from the onset, my husband, he laid it out on the table that, this vex thing, even when I am vexed or we have a disagreement, I should, still be able to cook his meals, still be able to serve him the same way. So I don't get that privilege of being vexed and not wanting to do anything. So whether or not I want to do it, I just have to do it. So yes, I don't get that privilege of being vexed or not. So
okay, nice. Good. Somebody says good wife. It must be Shanique. All right, ladies. We are closing out, and as we are closing out, I'm gonna have you just share a little about a few tips, about two, with our ladies and our other persons who will watch. What advice would you give to single ladies, and what would you give to young married young ladies like ourselves who are young and we are going at it? And as Theonna mentioned, the phase from just you alone with no a child, it's different. It's different. They're always in your space, and it changes the dynamics of the relationship. And they're always in her space. My one is a night owl. She don't want to go to her bed. She's never tired. She cries when she's to go to her bed. I'm not sleepy. And she goes and she goes and she goes. And she's always, why are you kissing mommy? And she's just there and everything. So it's just different. It's just different when they're in your face, and you have to just be, you have to, if you're not careful, you have to be, not start parenting, and then nothing is poured into the marriage. So even for me, at 9 years, this is what I'm trying to make sure that I do, not just parent, but that I spend time with my husband, and pour into our marriage too. So it has its ups and its downs, its challenge, but it's a beautiful thing. Mindset is everything, and it's workable, and we all are in it for the long haul. So we know we have challenges, we know we're gonna have it, but when we can come together like this, and we can bust to laugh, and we can share, and we can empower other persons, it's just awesome. So as we close out, we're gonna ask you to just leave your two cents, as they'll say, with the ladies that will listen to for the singles and for the married. We'll go with Antonia.
Okay, yeah. I think this probably goes up for both groups, both the single persons and those who are married. It might be hard, but don't compare yourself to other persons. Don't compare your marriage to another marriage, or don't compare your like you being single to somebody else in another phase in their life. I think that's very important not to do the whole comparison thing. For single ladies, I think it's very important to understand the season that you're in and to try to grow in that season. It might be where honestly you just need to spend some more time getting to know God, getting to know yourself, because you might think you know yourself, but really and truly, there are still things that you haven't dealt with it, from your past or something. So understand the season that you're in and try to grow in that season before you go out seeking or partnership with somebody else, or even feeling bad that you aren't there with somebody else. And then for my other advice to the married couples is that your marriage really and truly is a partnership. Everything in the marriage is a partnership. It is not easy all the time to understand that, to take that approach to things, but it is, and it's very important that we understand. So financially, it's a partnership. When you vex, really and truly, it's hard sometimes. But even though you vex, you really and truly, you have to talk to your partner about what the issues are. Communication is key. It's key, and there may be cases where you honestly need to reach out to somebody else, whether I'm married, need to get a marriage mentor, or just somebody else to help you to work out affiliated kinks and stuff like that. So it's very important to act as a partnership and seek help if you need it.
Thank you so much, Antonia, for that. Theonna, give with us your advice to singles who might feel, and then for the married ladies.
So now I understand what it means when persons would say that if you want to please the Lord, stay single. Because once you get married, you just want to please your husband in any way possible. So with my single friends, give God all you can while you are single. That's one of the best advice I think I can give right now. Give him everything that you can give. Minister for him in any way you can. Go on evangelism. Read your Bible. Get to know yourself. As Antonia said, get to know you. So when you go into your marriage, it's not about getting to know you anymore. You know yourself. So it's now for you to share yourself with this person that you're also getting to know. So that part of it is out. It's not more work. Find yourself a prayer partner. You're somebody who you're spiritually compatible with, because when you find that person, it's much easier to please God together. So it's not like going to bed and you want prayer and the man don't want pray, and you want to read the Bible and the man says, "Yeah, go to the bar," kind of thing. Being unequally yoked is a thing, and it does the destroy marriages, you know. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Theonna. Hope.
Okay, so my advice to the singles first, foster a deep relationship with the Lord. Also, don't just sit and wait for your Mr. Right to appear and do nothing. In the meantime, get to get to learn a new skill. You can find the time to learn a new skill. When I was in my waiting process, I used up my time. I tried to do things that I know that when I get married, that it will be very tedious for me to do those things. I try to get them out of the way. You can learn how to drive. I tried to get that out of the way. Learn how to sew, right? I went ahead and I did a decor course to better myself, right? To occupy my time. I didn't just sit down and looking for Mr. Right, but in the meantime, I was trying um, to to find something to do, learn something new, right? To develop yourself and work on your your personal attributes. If you have anger issues, work on it, because no husband want a wife who is going to be shouting after them 24/7. So try to get counseling to curb those bad behaviors. If you suffer from addiction, right, of probably drugs or anything at all, um, masturbation, try to seek help, or try to pray and try to break those curses before marriage. Spend time, get help, get a prayer partner, as was mentioned before by one of our speakers, right? To try to foster a deeper relationship with the Lord. And for the married couples, um, don't try to be like the Jones, right? Everybody's marriage is different. Work on your own marriage. Create a unique marriage for yourself and your partner. Don't try to be like another person's marriage, right? Every couple is different and every couple experience a different journey. Don't try to look at another couple and say, oh, I want my marriage to be like theirs, and trying to be all looking at others, right? Focus on your marriage, build a unique marriage between yourself and your partner and God, and try to put God first, to love each other and put God first. Marriage can work if both persons really understand each other, have mutual understanding, and really compromise. Sometimes it takes compromise. Don't sweat the small stuff. Yes, you're used to cooking a certain way, but if your partner say that, okay, honey, let me cook tonight. Don't say no, because I know you're going to do it different. It's not going to taste like mine. Allow them. Men love to be given the opportunity to do things. Yes, they may not do it the way we as wives want it to be done, because we are always wanting things to be perfect. But if they said, okay, I want to wash the dishes tonight, yes, probably they might make fields on the ground and all of that. And some of us wives loves to sweat the small stuff and all of that, but allow them to do it, right? And those little things too add to the marriage, and they make a lot of difference when we can understand how to deal with them and work it out. Yes, those are my few words.
Thank you so much, Hope. Thank you so much, Shanique.
I'm just here agreeing with everybody, everyone. So just to strengthen the points, I was really laughing at home because the last time my husband said, you know, babes, I go clean the kitchen for you. You said the next day, I'm sorry for the kitchen because I better me to do it. No, no. I love you and everything, but no. So for the single ladies, no, just to strengthen the points, for me, I would say, as Hope said, learn to drive so that your spouse doesn't have to feel burdened having to chauffeur you around every time. Be a godly woman. Godly women are very attractive. Like my husband said, because I did in a church, I'm serious about God, why him come back at church. I mean, I believe that, but I didn't say. So godly women are attractive. Learn to be a woman that a man would want to marry. So many persons, the ladies before me already said, learn to cook. Be a person, have a personable personality. Be somebody that men would want to get to know. Because a lot of us women have personality issues, and we shun some men that we don't think are good enough. Yeah, we're single and we want to find somebody, but we end up turning away good suitors. So I would say have a good personality, be compassionate, love yourself, discover things about you that you can fix and things that you can work on, stuff like that. Be whole before you find a man, because a man really does not complete you. Cool. Last thing for the single ladies, think of yourself as, I think it's a doe, that's the female there, right? Yeah, the doe. The doe minds her business until the hunter finds her. So do what you do best. Be up all in the secret place of the Most High. Pray, you fast, you do your thing, and let the hunter come and discover his doe. For the married people now, as Antonia said, you don't want to compare your marriage with other people because we have that habit. We feel like, oh, Samantha and her husband look so nice. Like them take pictures and they probably wear matching outfits, and my husband not do that, and me want it, and you knock the man. Oh, I went over to Samantha's house and she has Ashley furniture and big king size bed, and she have shoes for match everything, and babes, oh, you not do that for me. These are the things that destroy marriages. So we want to kill that spirit there. Second, commit to your marriage, perfect your craft. So an example, if you did uncle no missionary, learn to climb ladder. If you did uncle no for catch, learn to do something else. Like men no want the same thing every time. I'm saying this because I had to learn to get it right. If you like lie down, you have to go get up one at a time. So do yourself a favor, fix up the thing and make it look good, and present yourself. Present yourself. Last thing for the women now, you work together with your husband. Set goals. You can set goal for sex, you can set goal for your money, set goal when you want to have children, you set goal for every single thing. Yeah. Build on communication skills. I had to learn that. Like my talk strong, my rough. Somebody have to learn to just tone it down. Talk about the hard stuff, the thing them where bother you the most, where you feel like say, oh, I'm upset tonight. You can't talk about it. You have to come to a place where you say, all right then, we're gonna talk, no judgment. Don't say anything, just listen to each other, and then you find a common ground to like say, you know, we can work on this. And you know, I really love when you do that. Here's what you can do next time to make it better, all of these things. Pray together. Pray. Spend time with each other. Me never like sex, and honestly, I feel spend the time, because if me not spend the time, somebody else go and spend the time. So I have to spend time. And lastly, learn together. Learn together. Don't keep things to yourself. Oh, one thing is I forgot to say. You see, if you're not attracted to your spouse alone, that's one thing I forgot to say. That's one of the hard topics I had to learn to talk about. If my husband, we know what my husband like in a woman, and if him see another woman out there and she probably have a certain quality, and him say, you know, babes, maybe you can consider adjust, you know, do a little personality adjustment, because you're kind of too stern and all of these things. Me no want hear you tell me say one next woman have what me not have and you're attracted to that. So hear what? Me go fix it because I want you to see me and it must be me. Cool? So have the hard topics, learn. You're not going to be attracted to your spouse only. So you have to talk about these things. Samantha will tell you. You have to, yeah. I'll leave it to the rest of you. Yeah.
Thank you, Shanique. Shanique. Okay. So thank you again, ladies, for tuning in and for being here. I really appreciate your presence and your input and your advice. I want to say thank you very much again for being here, and have yourself a wonderful rest of the evening. Remember, audience, to like, to share, and to subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend, and have all your families liking, sharing, and subscribe. Have yourself a blessed evening. Bye-bye.